Get my eyeball.
I did. And your nose hair too. Okay. I didn't know they had a bookstore. Good morning. Jack and I decided to take a little adventure today. It's Thursday. What is it, May 16th? Anyway, it is 7 months or 8 months since Helene that hit us in September, and this is our first time coming back to the Carl Sandburg house. It was one of our favorite places to come, especially with the kids because of the goat farm and whatnot. But we have not been back here since Helene, so a lot of it's still under construction. A lot of it is still being repaired. So we just wanted to take a walk, visit the goats for a little bit, and see what was up with the Carl Sandburg house. Please come and join.
That's a good move.
What? Did I do something?
Your foot went over or something.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been through this hiking area either. Oh, that goes towards the...
And it's closed.
But is it?
Yeah.
Follow the mulch path to the gravel road across to access park trails. No, we can still go this way. They must have that closed off so nobody drives through except for their the Carl Sandburg house. Oh, look at all the pretty blooms. I don't think this is a hard hike. Back before we were walkers, it probably would have been a hike. Where is this car coming? That says it's closed, yo. I wonder if they're workers that have a code. We have not been to the Carl Sandburg house for a year, maybe 2 years. Definitely not since Helene.
Yeah.
And they are still at the entrance. I showed you the signs. They are still in major recovery. The drive-in, the very first parking lot, is said it was closed because of Helene, and that's where the main bathrooms are, and a really pretty walking trail around the lake. But this hiking trail is supposed to take you up to the backside where the goats and the barn is. So the Carl Sandburg home is still actually owned by descendants of Carl Sandburg, and they help take care of the property, but it is now considered part of the national parks. And what the only thing that I really knew about Carl Sandburg is that he was a poet and that he wrote books about Abraham Lincoln. His wife, to me, was actually more popular and known because she was the first one to patent and market goat milks and had a goat farm and did goat cheese, goat soaps, like the whole 9 yards. She was supposed to be like the first one to show the benefits and the nutrients and using it more than just drinking. And here on the property that Mr. and Mrs. Sandburg actually lived here with their kids for a very long time. They had like 5 kids. They passed away in the early 1900s because they were both born in the mid to late 1800s. They became pen pals when he was in war. They were madly in love. They got together, popped out some babies, came here to North Carolina, and yeah, she was a teacher and he was a writer. And so yeah, they still have this in the family, which I thought was really fun and cool. Oh, look at all the bamboo. It's so weird in North Carolina, especially in our area. There's so many like sporadic places where there's like just bamboo forests that pop up. But anyway, so on the property, we're not going to be able to access the house yet because it doesn't open till 10 a.m. and we just dropped the kids off from school, did our normal morning walk, and thought, let's go see what the Sandburg home looks like. But the goat farm is still here. They have a barn. They show like some tractors and stuff that the family used growing up to do the yards and what they planted and stuff like that. But the funnest part of the whole thing, and the reason why we like to come, is because of the goats. You can go into the goat yard around this time of year. They usually have baby goats, and that's a lot of fun. And you can actually pet the goats and walk around the goat area. I wish they opened a little earlier because I do know that inside the home, they have a documentary video that shows the history of the Sandburgs and the home and all that. So, but it is not. Oh, wait a minute. She just parked there. Oh, they're wearing uniforms. Okay. But I was like, how do they get this parking? It's good to walk. But yeah, so they do have a museum, but the house is a museum. Everything's in bloom. And our allergies definitely tell us. So at some point, they must allow vehicles to actually come through here. It says, drive slow, children at play. I mean, oh, listen, there's the goats hollering. I think they're ready to eat. This is one pasture for the goats. That barn right there is the main barn for the goats. Huh?
It's weird coming in this way.
Oh, I know. That's another pasture right there. See, it is blocked off. The goats have full range of the little one here. Then there's another gate that opens to the side. That brick building behind the barn actually shows you how Lily made her goat's milk and the different equipment that she used to make the goat milk. That barn, though, is where they currently live. And they keep the big boys over across from the ladies, especially during this time of year because it's breeding time. And they try to maintain and choreograph when they want them to have babies. So, but around this time is usually when they do have the babies. And that goat is just like, come pet me. And they are friendly. They love to be pet.
I don't know, those aren't really too much.
Yeah, I've petted the boys before. And there's already walkers out. You saw the parking lot was pretty full when we pulled in. So people do take advantage of the grounds before they officially opened. But yes, it's nice to see that this part of the park is preserved and nothing bad has happened after Helene. I mean, it's been almost a year. We didn't see what it looked like right after. Hi, baby. Hello. You gonna smile for the camera? Hi, baby. Hello. Hello. You are so cute. Hello, baby. It is already getting humid. Today's going to be a pretty day. Hi, baby.
Eat the camera.
Nom, 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 nom. Don't eat the camera. Meh. You're hungry, aren't you? You see your caretakers. Look at this one with the beard. I'm going to die on these tree roots. Okay. Hello. This one reminds me of like Billy Goat Ruff. Remember that children's? So this here, it has a historical marker on it. Talks about how these sheds, when goats were ill and needed to be isolated from the main herd, that the shed, sometimes referred to as the breeding pen, see, as goats would be brought here in the fall for breeding. Today, the shed on the left is used to shelter the bucks, the male goats, like I said. So this is how they help to control the population, how and when. Hello. Oh my gosh. The way your beard is, your face looks swollen. What are you doing? Hi, baby.
There's another one.
Here comes the other one. Hello. Hello, pretty.
Sorry, I'm going back to bed. It's too early.
Yeah, he totally did, didn't he? He's like, I'm not talking right now. I haven't eaten yet. Uh-oh. Did you just mess your food dish up? Oh, no, baby. Let's see if we can't. So this is a closer view of the goat shed. Oh, look, the little goats are, or the goat barn. There's some goats peeking out. The employees are coming in to feed them. And this white building is usually open to demonstrate some of the farm equipment that they used.
I have to walk and then come back to.
No, I don't think it's going to be open. But inside there's some tractors. There's Carl Sandburg's, one of his old Fords. And There's something else in there, but I can't remember what it is. But it's mainly farm equipment, saws, stuff like that. So we're kind of walking backwards because the second lot where we parked to walk in. Oh, and this is actually a resident of some of the family that live here on property still, that help take care of their inheritance. And
They live there?
yeah, like they still own domain. So,
They probably don't live there.
or if the workers, it's still one of their houses, if the workers have to stay to help take care of whatever, they have the option to stay there. That, I believe, is a greenhouse.
No, I think it's a well house.
Is it a well house? There's a sign
Or
up
maybe
there.
it's a greenhouse. I don't know.
I'm going to be lazy and say I'm not walking all the way up there. But yeah, so we kind of came in backwards. That the second lot, the hiking lot behind the goats or whatever, that's usually how you end it. And we usually start in the front where the lake and the house is. Oh, and this talks about the goats and Miss Lillian and how she used to take care of them and what they had. We shall do our best to do something, to leave something that we have produced here on earth as a bequest. But we'll remember that the life we live is more important than the works we leave. That was Lillian Paula, I guess I called her Paula more, Sandburg, in a letter to Carl Sandburg, 1908. So, but yes, you could see. Let you clip it. Sorry. So along in between, so the house is like actually peeking right now through the woods on the walking trail here. Up to the side in the back part behind these woods is the chicken coop and stuff, because they used to have chickens. There are houses on this property from people who help take care of the land. Call them what you will, but I'm pretty sure they are described as slave help, I think, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but there were people who took care of the property naturally for them, and they had their own quarters through. So that again is the chicken coop. See, farm area. But up here, it used to be chickens. Actually, they used to have live chickens still. But I don't know. I doubt that they have any right now. Whew, that tractor was loud. I doubt they still have any chickens up here right now because of Helene and all that. But they used, now it's just an abandoned building.
Where they put their equipment and stuff.
So now it's just an abandoned building, but that whole thing in there was chickens. Because this was a farm that they lived on, living on the land, especially back in the 1800s, early 1900s. We were country. Man, there is a lot of people out and about today. Look, all the workers on their little cars. Now this right here, that little makeshift house, to us makeshift, to the workers in the family back in the day, that was probably like luxurious headquarters for people. Actually, it probably would be a nice tiny home today still even. But that's this house here is where some workers would live. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, it doesn't look like they've even had to restore it. I feel like they made houses so much better back in the day. There's a couple of shingles loose here and there, but nothing horrible. So this says that this house was built around 1910. This little white house was a residence for farm assistants, chauffeurs, and family guests of the Maringer and Smith families. During the Sandburg's time, it was occasionally used as a residence for farm employees or as a studio for painting. Yeah, because Lily, and I think Carl too, they both were artists as well.
See if there's something on this.
I'm not familiar with the names of those people though. So this is the side of, I bet that's the kitchen, because back in the day they didn't have the kitchen inside with the house. It was considered dangerous.
Is there a plaque up there?
I think so. So we're gonna walk around, see if there's a plaque. Again, we're not gonna be able to go inside the house because it's not open until 10. But look at that big, beautiful sun coming out. It has been raining nonstop the last 3 days. Today is like a cultural shock because it is finally stopped raining. Look at the beautiful grand entrance though. That's not where you go in to actually get into the house as a museum, but this was their house. Big, beautiful. But this right here at the top, I bet was their actual main entrance. Attic.
It's like a full pool. Is this their pool?
No, it's a fountain.
And then look
Several
at
years ago, they had like an actual statue inside where it was spitting water out, like all rich people back then
this
had.
is the view they had. I'm sure the trees weren't as big, of course. They probably saw a lot of stuff.
You could even probably, if you were up on that porch, if we were allowed to go up there and look over, you would still see the lake at the main entrance that's closed off.
I'm wondering to see what it looks like down there now.
I know.
After the hurricane.
I wonder if we're even allowed to walk past
It'll
a
be
certain
blocked
point,
off, yeah.
because it is a liability if people go down there and get hurt. But this house is so pretty. And the side here, it looks like they had like a little window nook. Hours vary by season. Yeah. Okay, well, and then this is the entrance to the actual museum. So you come in here and it says to use this door here. This is the gift shop inside here. Can't really see in it, but this is the entrance. And I think that this would be technically considered the basement that you're walking into, because the living quarters are up there. And that looks like a garage, which I don't remember. I knew there was buildings back here, but I'm surprised they had a garage. But they were fancier, richer, unless this is an addition. This might be an addition. What is this over here? Bamboo. That has, ooh, a shutter. Looks like some kind of banquet hall. Yeah, I wonder if it ever does open.
There's another building.
There's
back,
chairs in there.
another building back too. but-
Mm-hmm. So as you can see, there is so much land here that Is my shadow in the way of the picture? But there's still so much stuff that's not open because of the damages done. Black families and workers.
I don't think.
That's part of these, I bet. I'm going to show the sign here in a second, but that's...
I don't think they had slaves. They looks like they
Maybe just took care of
they.
the...
They were enslaved, but no. Maybe he.
It's like my shadow is in the way because of the sun. So this site's history goes beyond stories of white landowners. Maringer, 1838 to 1888. Gregg, 1889-1900. Smith, 1900 and 1942. Oh, and Sandburg. So this wasn't always theirs. The Sandburgers bought it in 1945. It encompasses the lives of African Americans who lived and worked here. Black people enslaved by the Maringers helped build most of the buildings around you. From 1838 to 1853, laborers constructed the main home, detached kitchen, and 2 small living quarters for enslaved cooks, maids, butlers, and farm workers. The kitchen served as the dining area. And then you can snapshot the rest. But apparently 3 people owned. And see, that's something new. I totally just learned.
I've never been back here where this park is before.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think we have, but it's just been so many years that we don't remember. So this was probably the kitchen then, because there's a chimney up there. So this is probably the detached kitchen. It's closed off, so I can't make sure for sure. And then these were probably the living quarters right here for the slaves, and then again across the way. So yeah, this even has a little ramp like they migrated into like a chicken house or something. But yep, it's been so long since we've been here. And when we do have the kids, the number one thing to do is go see the goats. So we don't really embrace the entire property, which is a lot. But again, that's like the first time I ever learned about other families owning it. For some reason, I always thought, yep, that's a pump house.
The other one must be
it has to be some kind of greenhouse.
Yeah. Spring house is what it is. Core. Oh no, that's spring house. Okay.
And then this. Now this would look like a well house to me, or a pump house. This is a spring house for cool water from the mountain. And then there's the chicken coop. So we kind of like walked all the way around. Can you see in there?
Yeah.
So somehow or another they got
Natural
mountain
spring must
water
have
through
flowed in
here. Where did it come in at, I wonder? I don't even see old piping or anything. Interesting.
In the corner.
Oh, so it had its own pipe. It wasn't like free flowing. You had to fill it. Interesting.
Go back down towards the lake and see what it looks like.
You want to try?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can't get down to the lake.
See,
So leaving the front part of the house, now that we've walked around the property, we're heading to the main trail to get to, they have an amphitheater because sometimes they do music down there. That's brand new. That's only been a couple of years old. But I noticed too that as we were walking out, even though the second bathroom is closed, hold on. That's the second bathroom from the main one in the front of the lake. They do have throughout some porta potties. So if you're in the middle of walking or whatever, they do have the porta potties that you can stop off at. Now, mind you, if you have walking conditions, if you have Oh yeah, look, it talks about their music and playing bluegrass and stuff. If you do have any knee issues or situations where it's just not very mobile for you, keep in mind that all of the property from the front of the lake up to the house is on an 8% incline. So even though it's concrete, I think during certain times of the year, yes, they do shuttles, but I've never personally been able to see one.
Yeah, the last time we were here.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
So even though this is paved,
maybe just on the weekend,
you definitely feel a decline, and you definitely feel an incline when you're coming back up. It is a really pretty walk, but again, if you have joints, you just need to be careful. So part of the road that we're now on, the downslope, you can actually start to see the house creeping around from the front. And again, when you're at the lake, if we can get down to it, which we might not be able to, you can see it again from the walking trail around the lake. But really pretty property and massive property, lots to explore. So if goats aren't your thing and you but you just want a nice protected walk that's not completely through the woods everywhere but enough to get you in nature, definitely come to the Carl Sandburg home. Oh, that's an even better picture. Camera does not do justice. So now we're getting towards closer to the bottom where it branches off going down to the beautiful lake hiking spot. But I wanted to show you the brand new amphitheater. Oh, another porta potty if you needed it. This trail is closed. This trail actually would walk you down and around to the backside of the amphitheater that's over here. And again, the amphitheater is pretty new, so it really stinks that you can't really get in there. But look at all the trees. I mean, it's still just so much from Helene, and this is like almost a year. Helene hit us in September. Right now we're towards the end of May. And you can see the amphitheater kind of peeking through there. I'm going to zoom in and see if you can see the building. Yeah. And that's as close as we're going to get, folks. Close as we're going to get. But it's just so sad because all of our favorite places to come and explore and walk around, and I mean, there's so many places that we love to go to that we still haven't even really gone to see if they're even open and operating because of the hurricane. And then right after the hurricane, at our favorite swimming hole,
Sounds like they're doing decent work down there.
let's see if we can see. But then even after, in our area in Saluda, we were ready to start to explore the Green River area because that's like our favorite swimming holes. I actually have a video that I show on the channel of the Green River. Maybe I can try and link it to this video because that's a pretty drive and swimming hole. But anyway, we haven't even been there. I know that the Helene really screwed it up, but then we had wildfires. So the whole park that we go and swim at the Green River was devastated by Helene and then devastated by wildfires that burned for, how many days was it the wildfires were? It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I mean, it was a very, very long time because every time they thought they were getting it under control, it would spark up another fire because of all the trees laying down from Helene that it was like kindling. So, yeah. So this is the area that they are still continuously working on for cleanup. The lake path there, this is blocked off because of, look at all the washout. Oh my goodness. That big beautiful bridge, that was always fun because you could see the fish swimming in the lake. It was a natural dam. The dam is falling apart. Holy cow. Do you see that in the corner? In the corner of the bridge, it's like falling apart. It got washed out. And this is as close as we're gonna get to that. And it looks like they drained out the lake. Yep. They're working on the walking trail over there. Yeah, this lake was huge. And the fish.
All those fish, man. Where'd they go?
Yeah, where did they go?
Just died.
Across the White Bridge, though, is there's a main parking lot that's been closed off, of course. Then there's the restrooms that were the main restrooms, had more information about the park, kind of almost like a little visitor center, but with a bathroom in there. And, but yeah, so.
Did you get a good close up of that?
Actually, let me zoom in anyway.
That's crazy.
I mean, this was a natural dam for the fish in between the walkway. And now it's gone. And then look at the washout. I'm sure you guys can see it.
That bike was there for years. Or that was there for...
Yeah,
for
I mean,
hundreds.
half of it's falling into the... I didn't even notice that it didn't even make it across. It's falling into the water, split in half there. Because the pillar fell over.
That has to be so old. That's crazy.
So sad. And all of this is lake. Well, what used to be a lake. It is all gone. I will say they got lucky and count their blessings that all the goats were okay, that the farmland up top is actually a lot higher. See, because now you can see where the house is, and I'm actually pointing up to get the view of the house. It's very high up. Everything that we already walked through where the goats were and the farm, it's very, very high up. So naturally all that water rushing from the rain and the upflow. Yeah, they are. I can hear them because remember there's that one bridge that crosses over the lake to finish the around. I mean, here's the saddest part though. They said on the news not too long ago that it's going to take 5 years just for Asheville to get fixed the way it should be. Right now they are open. Right now tourists come because it feeds the economy. But it's not what it used to be. And they want to get back to that spot. It's manageable. It's good for a visit, to get things moving and going and businesses to stay up and running. But it is not gonna be the way it was. They actually want to make it better, according to the 5-year plan. So, but you know, they talked about Asheville and they talk about Swannanoa because those were big areas, but they don't mention the national parks. Who's going to fix and repair these beautiful national historical parks so that we can go and take our kids? Because everywhere that we go that's free is a national park. But anyway, just thoughts. This may be the fancy golf cart / shuttle that my husband was referring to. So if you're handicapped, have small children, need help getting around, because like I said, that hill is no joke. We just came back up the hill and I'm like And we work out and walk every day. So, yeah, I guess I need to work on my endurance going uphill. But yeah, this I think is the shuttle that my husband was referring to. Good job. Walking back towards our car on the hiking trail towards the back there. They opened the shed. Let's go see if they still have stuff in here. Does that mean that we could go in and see the goat barn? We might be able to go inside the goats.
No, maybe it's not. Okay.
Well, you have to lift it to
I
get
think
in.
it's
Oh, it's
chained.
still locked, yeah.
It's open.
Oh, okay, so see? Carl Sandburg. It's a Jeep.
That's where there's the fountain that used to be in the front.
That is the fountain that used to be in the front. And then a scale, which I don't understand the purpose of that.
Weighing goats.
You think weighing the goats? That might make sense. But there's the tractor trailers, some of the farm equipment. Oh, and this was Mrs. Sandberg's farm equipment. So there you go. She did this. I bet you it does too. I don't know, it's a Ford.
It's been taken care of. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's the goat farm. Look, there's the goats. They're getting fed and let out to play. Yeah. Oh. And this talks about the goats. And how they take care of them.
Like they're trying to make it.
Pretty. All right, well, that was our trip out to the Carl Sandburg house. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you decide to make a trip out to our national parks and don't let Helene sway your decisions. Come out, be a tourist, support our local. Hopefully it'll help get our national parks back up to par. They are working really hard. And it definitely was worth the trip. And I can't wait to see in a couple months the progress that is made. So stay tuned. Hope to see you soon and have a great day. Don't forget, comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.